Okay, I would like to call the school committee meeting of Tuesday, March 27th to order. We have one item on our agenda this evening, and it's the presentation of the Superintendents Evaluation. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you so much.
Yes.
I'd like to thank you all for coming tonight. I didn't expect to see anybody in the audience, so thank you for being here. And thank you to Mr. Kozort for his honest self-evaluation, and also to the administrative team who voluntarily submitted individual evaluations of Mr. Kozort to the committee. For next year, our committee would like to recommend a change in the format of the admin evaluations, which are not required per state law for the superintendent's evaluation process. It's a practice that Mr. Kozort put into place with our support, I think, about 5 years ago. So what we would like is to recommend anonymous voluntary submissions that can be shared with the superintendent that will help inform him as to his team's challenges and opportunities as it relates to his professional practices. We feel the missing step is that his inability to read those comments and that feedback. So that will be for the next school committee to enact that practice during the next evaluation season. I'd also like to remind everybody that the superintendent is the only leadership position that is evaluated in public session, and I'm sure everyone can understand the sensitivity for the process. So without further ado, this document is a summation of the school committee members' individual evaluations. This summation will be available as a public document within the week once we have the final edits confirmed and signed off on. What I am going to do is start by reading the assessment towards the professional practice goals, and then I will go into the individual standards and end back at the summation comments. So the professional practice goal, we rated Mr. Kozort between significant progress and met. Student learning goals, between some progress and significant progress. District improvement goals, between met and exceeded, and other goals, met and exceeded. Going on to the standard number 1, and this will be on page 4 of the evaluation. Standard 1, instructional leadership. Mr. Kozort received an overall rating of proficient, and the comments read as follows. Mike has been a driving force in addressing areas in which we appear to have concerns, and while assessments aren't necessarily an issue, the results clearly are. There has been some great strides regarding curriculum, but there is still work to be done. In some cases, the administrative team appears to need more support relaying the high standards to their respective teaching staff, reflective of our shared vision and a more cohesive team. In addition, we'd encourage Mr. Kozort to schedule time to visit more classrooms to observe teaching practices now that NIS is completed and the community school director has been hired. For Standard 2, management and operations, received an overall rating of proficient to exemplary. The comment reads, Mike does a great job of creating, implementing, and supporting a positive, professional, and safe learning environment for our staff and children in the district. The installation of more security cameras and the new secure entries, vestibules at 3 of our 4 schools so far are to be commended. Mike has managed the fiscal budget admirably over the past few years, and it is much appreciated. We would like to explore the district having its own HR department, personnel, and feel that the town would support this decision, as it would also provide Mike with support in recruiting, hiring, and retaining top-notch staff. Standard 3, family and community engagement. He has an overall ranking of exemplary. Mike does a wonderful job of engaging with the community by being visible at community and school events, as well as offering superintendent coffees, which are open to the general public. He was responsible for completing and opening the new school, a much-needed space addressing one of the major concerns of the community at large, an expense that came in under budget. His commitment to all students is certainly reflected in his hiring additional support staff, specifically bilingual teachers and counselors and specials, among others. Mike does a great job of making himself available to parents, teachers, students, and the general public while adhering to the chain of command respectful of the building administrators. Standard 4, professional culture. Mike received an overall ranking of proficient. Mike has a strong commitment to high standards, and he encourages his administrative team to set high standards for themselves as well as their staff. This year, he has had several events to tackle while maintaining this commitment to excellence. The abrupt departure of the community school director, bringing in new administration, principal and assistant principal at NIS, a new SPED director for the district, etc., making sure the entire administrative team melds together and has the same shared vision, as well as managing the conflicts as they arrive, can be a challenge at times. We feel that implementing the strategic plan sooner rather than later will have a positive impact and help alleviate some of the divide that exists. For the summative evaluation report, Mike's overall ranking is proficient. And the comment is, this year we have had success at MPS as well as challenges. Under Mike's leadership, we brought in a new school online ahead of schedule and under budget, capping off our prior strategic plan quite impressively. Because of his commitment to high standards, our student body as well as staff can learn and teach in a much more comfortable environment. Thank you, Mr. Kozort. We still have work to do as we are struggling in math, and because Mike is committed to excellence and attaining the best outcomes for all our children, we have no doubt he, along with his team, will continue to meet this challenge head on and make necessary changes to attain success in this area. We realize that it will take some time. We also recognize that while our administrative staff shares the same vision of providing a quality education for all the children in our community, there are some struggles on how best to approach it. Mike is a strong leader and a very visible and viable part of the community. His quick action in addressing the concerns and struggles in the world in general are to be commended. He addressed the community in the midst of the recent school shootings and supported our own district walkout. In the area of security, his forethought in planning and implementing the new vestibule at NIS, CPS, and NHS, along with the great team he has assembled, confirms his commitment to our staff and children and doing what's best for them. While the new strategic plan has not been created and implemented, it has been initiated and will be a priority along with the overall ongoing work of the district itself. We look forward to an even more successful new school year in supporting the work of the district. Finally, on behalf of the committee, I'd like to thank Mr. Kozort for his dedication and commitment to our children and our community. I was honored to be a part of the committee that hired Mr. Kozort 8 years ago, and I remain impressed by his ability to navigate the challenges and opportunities facing our children, their families, and our district as a whole. It has been an honor and a privilege to work with you, Mike. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.